In small towns, the night feels different. It is thicker, richer, heavy with the scent of damp earth, pine needles, and wood smoke drifting from unseen chimneys. It is here, in this deep quiet, that the stories begin to emerge, not as frightening tales meant to scare, but as memories of the landscape itself, echoes of things that might have been, or perhaps still are. They tell of the phantom hitchhiker, a legend found in almost every quiet corner of the world. But here, on this lonely stretch of road, the story feels less like a ghost story and more like a sad, sweet song. Picture the mist rising from the fields on either side of the road, glowing pale blue in the moonlight. It swirls and dances, taking on shapes that shift and dissolve in the blink of an eye. The locals whisper that on rainy nights, when the rhythm of the windshield wipers keeps time with a slow heartbeat, you might see a figure standing on the shoulder, waiting. They say she wears a dress from a different time, the fabric shimmering like gossamer. She is not menacing, she is merely waiting, caught in a loop of time, looking for a ride home that never quite arrives. As you drive past, you don't feel fear, only a profound sense of melancholy, a recognition of how much of our history is made of waiting, of hoping, of trying to return to a place that no longer exists. And then, she is gone, fading back into the fog from which she came, leaving only the empty road and the rain. It makes you wonder, are these spirits haunting the road, or is the road simply remembering them, replaying a moment of longing over and over again in the theatre of the night? Let us drift further now, past the lonely roads and into the heart of the sleeping town. The streets are empty, the storefronts dark, save for the occasional amber glow of a street lamp reflecting in a puddle. There is a specific legend here about the old watchmaker's shop. The shop has been closed for 50 years, the windows dusty, the sign creaking gently in the breeze. But the story goes that if you stand outside on the quietest nights of the year, when the wind dies down and the crickets pause their song, you can still hear the ticking, not just one clock, but hundreds. A symphony of gears and springs, ticking away the seconds of a time that has already passed. Some say the watchmaker loved his craft so much, he poured his soul into the mechanisms, leaving a part of himself behind to ensure that time in this small town never moves too fast, that it always keeps a slow, deliberate pace, preserving the peace of the valley. Listen closely in your mind. Can you hear it? Tick, tock, tick, tock. A steady, comforting rhythm that aligns with your own heartbeat, slowing it down, reminding you that there is no rush, that time is vast and endless. As we move away from the town square, we find ourselves near the edge of the woods. The trees here are tall and old, their roots deep in the soil, twisted and gnarled like the hands of elders. There is a story about these woods, a legend of the lantern lights. It is said that deep in the forest, where the trails fade into the undergrowth, floating lights appear in the darkness. They are not fireflies, and they are not stars. They are soft, warm orbs of orange and yellow, drifting lazily through the trees like balloons untethered from the earth. The legends say these are the spirits of travelers who loved the woods so much they decided to stay, to become part of the forest's eternal night. They do not lead you astray. Instead, they guide the lost, offering a gentle luminescence to show the path back to safety. Imagine watching them now, bobbing gently in the distance, weaving between the trunks of the pines, hypnotic and serene. There is a peace in watching them, a realization that the darkness is not empty, it is full of light, if only we know how to look for it. The woods are not a place of fear, but a place of shelter, a blanket of shadows pulled tight around the shoulders of the earth, keeping the secrets of the small towns safe. We drift further still, toward the outskirts, where the old iron bridge crosses the river. The water below is black and glassy, reflecting the moon like a mirror made of obsidian. The bridge creates a hollow, echoing sound as we cross it, a rumble that vibrates in the chest. This is the Cry-Baby Bridge, a name given to so many bridges in so many towns, usually accompanied by tragic tales. But in this version of the story, the one whispered by the grandmothers on their porches, the sound you hear is not a cry of distress, but a lullaby. They say the wind passing through the metal trusses creates a harmonic tone, a soft humming that sounds like a mother singing to her child. The river below joins in, the water rushing over stones, creating a white noise that smooths out the edges of the world. Stand on the bridge in your mind's eye, feel the cool dampness rising from the water, smell the river mud and the wildflowers growing on the bank, and listen to the wind singing its eternal song. It is a sound of comfort, a sound that says, "Sleep now, rest now, all is well." Beyond the bridge, on a hill that overlooks the valley, stands the outline of a house that may or may not be there. This is the vanishing house. Some nights, when the clouds are low and the moon is hidden, you can see lights in the windows. Warm, inviting, yellow squares against the black velvet of the night. You can see the silhouette of a chimney, the slope of a roof. But when you try to approach it, the perspective shifts. The fog rolls in, and the house seems to dissolve into the mist, leaving only an empty field of tall grass swaying in the breeze. It is not a haunted house. It is a memory of a home, a psychic imprint of a place where people were once happy, where fires burned in the hearth and laughter filled the rooms. The town remembers this happiness and projects it onto the canvas of the night, a fleeting image of domestic peace. Watching it fade is not sad. It is like watching a dream slip away as you wake, gentle and ephemeral, reminding us that nothing is permanent, but nothing is truly lost. Let your mind wander now to the old train tracks, the rails rusted and overgrown with wildflowers. The trains haven't run here in decades, yet the legend persists. The phantom train. They say on the calmest nights, you can feel a vibration in the ground, a subtle trembling that travels up through the soles of your feet. Then, the faint scent of coal smoke and ozone drifts on the breeze. And in the far distance, a whistle blows, long and low, mournful and majestic. It doesn't scream or shriek. It sings a low note that resonates with the deepest part of you, calling you to travel, to move, to dream. You might see a single beam of light cutting through the darkness, sweeping across the trees, but the train never arrives. It is always just around the bend, always just out of sight, a ghost of the industrial age, rumbling through the subconscious of the town. The sound of a distant train is one of the most soothing sounds in the world. It speaks of distance, of other places, of the vastness of the land. Let that imaginary whistle lull you deeper into relaxation. The rhythmic chug-chug-chug fading in and out, like waves on a beach, rocking you into a state of heavy, peaceful slumber. In these small towns, even the animals have legends. There is the story of the great white stag, a deer made entirely of moonlight and mist. He is said to walk the perimeter of the town, a silent guardian watching over the sleeping houses. He leaves no footprints and makes no sound. If you are lucky enough to see him, standing at the edge of a meadow, his antlers branching up toward the stars, a sense of profound calm washes over you. He looks at you with eyes that hold the wisdom of the forest, ancient and knowing, breathing out a plume of white mist into the cold air. And then he turns and steps back into the shadows, vanishing as if he were never there. He is the spirit of the wild, reminding the town that even with its paved roads and brick buildings, it is still a guest in the natural world, protected and watched over by forces we can barely comprehend. These stories, these urban legends, they are the dreams of the community, woven together from threads of history, fear, hope, and wonder. They are the way a small town explains the unexplainable, the way it adds magic to the mundane. As you walk through this mental landscape, notice how the fear has been stripped away, leaving only the mystery. The shadows are not hiding monsters, they are simply resting places for the light. The silence is not ominous, it is a heavy blanket of peace. Let's go to the town park now, where the old gazebo stands in the center, painted white and glowing softly under the starlight. There is a legend here too. They say that if you sit on the bench in the gazebo at exactly midnight and close your eyes, you can hear the music of a band that played here 100 years ago. Soft brass, a gentle waltz, drifting on the air like perfume. The music isn't loud, it's as if it's coming from another room or another time, muffled by the years, but still sweet, still joyful. Imagine sitting there now, the wood of the bench cool beneath you, the night air caressing your skin, listening to the ghostly waltz, swaying slightly to the rhythm. It is a happy haunting, a celebration of life that refuses to end. The town holds on to its joy just as tightly as it holds on to its sorrow, preserving these moments in the amber of memory. Walk with me now, down to the old library, a stone building covered in ivy. The windows are dark, but the legend says the books whisper to each other in the night, that the stories contained within the pages spill out, mixing together in the quiet aisles. If you were to stand outside and press your ear